Hey Pisces, welcome to High Priestess Healing Tarot, where you are the High Priestess, baby. Today we're using the Thoth Tarot. Okay, let's see what messages Spirit has for us today. Thank you, Spirit Guides, Guardian Angels, Ancestors, Archangel Michael. Please help me in pulling insights for the High Priestess Collective, highest timelines, highest messages. Yeah, for the High Priestess Collective. All right, here we go. This is a smooth shuffle. Queen of Discs. This is the Queen of Pentacles in the traditional Rider-Waite. Technically, in the hierarchy of the court cards in the Thoth Tarot, the Queen is at the top, as it should be. It's Queen, Knight, Prince, Princess in Thoth Tarot. The Queen of Discs, or the Queen of Pentacles, always finds a way for her resources to expand. Creative outlets and innovative ways of implementing practicality that increase financial abundance, improve health, expand her queendom. Queen of Pentacles is Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo energy. So if any of that is in your top 3 or your North Node, this could be a confirmation of like the work that you're doing in this earthly element is paying off, or it's about to pay off. At the top of her staff, she actually has a crystalline structure. Not sure if you could see that. That crystal can be interpreted as any different kind of crystal, but to me that's a selenite. There's an energy of protection in all that she chooses to do. Staffs are looked at as symbols of journeys and symbols of assistance on your journey. Journeying being a verb, though. So this Queen of Pentacles, as much as she is feminine energy, she is directing her masculine energy to do or execute on the things that she desires in her 3D world, and she calls forth protection through the selenite crystal. This could indicate there's going to be an expansion in your financial standing, your health standing. The Queen of Discs, or the Queen of Pentacles, is also considered the Earth Witch, or the herbalist, or the medicine worker. Queen of Pentacles is also the Queen of Discs, I should say. She has mastered something in the 3D world, and now this mastery of the 3D element, in conjunction with her feminine intuition, her feminine creativity, makes her an unstoppable force. The Queen of Discs, in my opinion, in the Thoth Tarot, is the most powerful of the queens, because she's essentially bridged both worlds, the feminine spiritual side and the 3D material, doing, executing, planning, and acquiring. The evidence is like on the outside. The evidence is in her results. This could be like what you are striving for, the goal here. Okay, we have, what are you? 8 of Swords. So there's like an adjustment in the mind space that's either taking place or being downloaded now. If you look, the horns in her crown reach the top of the card, or reach the sky. So there's an element here of the crown chakra is able to reach the sky, where her roots are deeply, deeply planted into earth. And that connection of sky and earth is another example of the bridging of spiritual or ethereal realm and the earthly realm. This could also be for anybody who's doing spell work or ritualizing with earth magic, nature magic, using nature spirits to manifest for you. Okay, yeah. 3 of Cups is abundance. Okay, so something is washing in or about to wash in, specifically in it's related to your material energy. This will be something to celebrate too. So there's also like joy and fulfillment is present. You know, the 3 of Cups, it's cup energy, it's water. So there's fulfillment and joy that you are able to experience on that front. But it looks like the abundance comes in on the material side, which triggers this outward celebration, this emotional fulfillment. It could also be 3 different winds come in, or 3 different pieces in your 3D. Yeah, 3D, 3 pieces. There's 3 pieces that could be coming in into your 3D realm, your material realm, that causes this celebration. Abundance is like you're no longer without. Abundance is like more than enough. It's enough for you, and then there's more. There's extra. There's excess here. Wow, this is beautiful. Ace of Cups and the Two of Wands. So the aces are essentially from spirit. It's from divinity. See the spiderweb artwork in the background? It's supposed to be a little nod towards sacred geometry. Sacred geometry essentially being the things we cannot see. And the aces are essentially gifts that come in from which we cannot see. Nothingness, you know? It's the top of that Kabbalah tree of life where it's like, where does this come from? And we spend our experience as a human vessel, like a soul in a human body, exploring the mystery of like, but where does this come from? What is source exactly? What is the start of the universe? That's this initiation of the thing being creation, the thing being earth, the thing being your body, the thing being this gift that comes in. We spend so much of our time here exploring what that relationship is between like what it is and where it comes from. And that exploration adds sweetness to the experience. Like the mystery of it adds to the magic, it adds to the wonder and awe of the reception of the gift. Ace of Cups, this gift that comes in seemingly out of nowhere or from a place that is not seen. Two of Wands is dominion over fear and ability to step outside of comfort zone. So it's making a decision to act on spirit or to act on inspiration that takes you out of familiarity or takes you out of monotony, takes you out of could even be like routine. So if you have like a sudden urge to switch up your routine today, or a sudden urge to do things a little bit differently, suddenly like out of the ordinary, I wouldn't be surprised if that is the catalyst that brings this Ace of Cups in, which would then essentially be this like cause for celebration. Ace of Cups plus the Three of Cups, that's 4 cups. And the 4 of Cups in the traditional Rider-Waite is again like an energy of I'm focusing on this thing in front of me, and boom, something else comes in that I didn't see coming, or I don't notice it at first. This could also be an energy of I didn't notice it at first. Oh my God. Are you ready for the bottom of the deck? Do you want to guess what it is? Very abundant energy. You ready? 10 of Pentacles. Wealth. Okay, so the Ace of Cups. Oh, she slipped right through my fingers. Don't let it slip through your fingers. The Ace of Cups is essentially this top Sephirah in the Kabbalah tree of life. And I think this is going to come through the form of some sort of transformation on your end or communication. That ace is going to come in as a communication of like, hey, this is here for you now, or this is arriving. So 2 of Wands, stepping outside the comfort zone. If you choose to do something out of the norm, or you put your name, we were talking about this at the Jupiter and Sun abundance ritual. If you start putting your name in for opportunities, contracts, collaborations, housing, things like this, where like maybe you haven't before, or you wouldn't normally, or now's the time. It's kind of like leveling up energy. Expect to hear something in return that is worth celebrating and brings forth abundance. It's so interesting to me that the 3 of Cups, which is water, emotion, intuition, has the word abundance, which abundance is anything, right? But the abundance of emotion here could also represent this abundance of some sort of materialized wealth. 10 of Pentacles, it's like the culmination of like, oh, this is more than what I needed, and I'm so grateful for it. Yeah, my Fitbit just vibrated on that one. Through communication, The other thing is, if this isn't through a direct line of communication for you, this Ace of Cups that comes in, that you celebrate, that adds to your queendom of financial change, asset acquisition, improved health, it's on the tail end of a transformation energy, so death and rebirth energy. Yeah, Princess of Cups at the bottom, that is your energy. The Princess of Cups is an energy of, I believe in miracles, so I act in alignment on the path of miracles. This might even be saying, like, if you believe miracles can happen to you, it can happen to you. But it's not without action, though. I have to emphasize that this Two of Wands is dominion over fear. It's dominion over the ego wanting to be complacent, because it equates complacency. The ego equates familiarity and repetition, rote repetition of like a schedule and predictability as safety, and that's not necessarily true. So the dominion over fear, or the dominion over ego, results in this pathway to some sort of miracle. Show me the miracle. She's some kind of wonderful. Show me the miracle. Whoa, wow, that's a story. The miracle, Five of Cups. So from disappointment to the Hangman, pause, surrender, alternative perspective. This is allowing divinity to pour through the feet, which is interesting because feet is Piscean energy, but feet's also associated with root chakra. It's like the part of the body that connects with Gaia. The Ankh is what's hanging the hanged one in this card. And the top of the Ankh, which is the hook for the foot, is the feminine energy. So it's some sort of reverse engineering of your perspective, reverse engineering of perceived loss, reverse engineering of perceived disappointment. So this is for people who experience some kind of loss, heartbreak, disappointment. You felt it, you experienced that. And then through some sort of enlightened perspective or change or surrender to your environment, it's Neptunian energy. So it could also be an exploration of shadow, exploration of darkness. So darkness being the subconscious. You went back through the disappointment, almost like reliving it. So this could be EMDR therapy or psychedelic journeys or deep shadow work, where you went back through the disappointment and you acquired an alternative perspective around it. That's the reverse engineering. It's like, wait, let me go back into this, and is this a disappointment, or is this actually a gift for my enlightenment, or a gift for my viewpoint on how things are occurring in my emotional state and my intuitive state? And it's through that exploration of initially perceived disappointment that you're actually able to take up more space in, again, this is sacred geometry. You're taking up more space within a realm that is unseen. Okay, what does that mean? Taking up more space in a realm that is unseen essentially means your spirit is growing, your soul is growing. As your soul expands, you're able to take in more truth. Oh. You're able to take in more truth. This might have to do with accountability. Somebody reflecting on accountability, not in a way that's like, it was your fault. Not like that. Just like, what can I learn from this? That's accountability. What can I learn from this loss, from this disappointment? What can I learn from it? Incorporating that truth allows you to take up more space in a realm that is unseen. And when you start taking up space in the realms that are unseen, you see more in the space that you are seen in. You see more. And by seeing more, okay, that means that you see more pathways to abundance, more pathways to joy, also more pathways to magic. You're seeing pathways and routes that are available to you, that it's not that they're not available to others, but I don't think they can see them. There's people that can't see them. So this is like taking advantage of your seeing, High Priestess. Big emphasis on the first deck in Pisces crew here, the February babies. And then we have the Lovers. Smash a loved one. I don't know what's going on. Lovers is choice. Lovers is union of higher self and lower self. It's also the coming together of two energies. It's Gemini energy. Gemini energy is both the light and the shadow. There's two hands coming out from the top here. Two light and shadow. There's some sort of accountability that's been reflected on or taken. And as a result of you, I guess maybe eliminating victim mindset and being like, I can experience disappointment and loss. And then when I'm ready, also go back and reflect on what can I learn from this, and either do differently, integrate into my humanness, and like direct my spiritual seeing in a pragmatic and practical human way that benefits this 3D experience I'm having. Versus, so the shadow of this Pisces, okay, let's talk a little darkness. People who are not able to do this part feel disappointment and loss fully. It's like you have to go through it. Go through it, feeling it. Then recognizing, is there perspective I can gain, knowledge or wisdom I can extract, lessons I can learn from this experience, and then essentially go through it again, and you will likely feel some of that loss and disappointment, those feelings again. It won't be as intense though. It won't be as intense. And then people who can't do this are essentially this. You're not the hanged one then. You're simply looking at things from a very literal or limited viewpoint. And sometimes those people get stuck in the Five of Cups. They get stuck in the disappointment. They continue telling the story of the woe. And the perpetuation of that story perpetuates that person as either a victim or perpetuates that story in the subconscious that things won't change. So it's essentially like creating an emotional prison for self. And an emotional prison really limits any sort of exterior change that could possibly take place in the 3D. This also, another way, because it's Gemini energy, and it's Gemini is the mind. So it's like, this is water, and this is mind. Another shadow of this. I don't know why I'm telling you this. Maybe you know someone like this that's mirroring what you could have been if you didn't adopt this way of transmuting. But another shadow of this is psychosis. Help me say it different. It's like, I was talking about this with High Priestess Nikki last night a little bit. Like, getting stuck in the spiritual realm of things and never grounding meaning like never implementing what you are learning in a way that heals, expands, or benefits you. It's one thing to feel and recognize trauma and enter the spiritual realm. We're all in the spiritual realm. If you're watching tarot on YouTube, you're probably consuming other spiritual content, I would imagine. And maybe that's a generalization and I'm wrong. I'm okay. I could stand in that though. And it's one thing to consume and learn spiritual content to validate and heal in an emotional and mental way. But if we're not actually implementing it, are you healing it? And sometimes people will overconsume as a result of the trauma, and not walk across the bridge of, now I'm going to integrate and implement this perspective, these changes. And the ones who do walk across the bridge, there is like an additional ego death and discomfort in doing it. It's the people who are like, I'm selling my house even though it's uncomfortable. I'm moving across the world even though I'm scared. I'm entering this relationship even though most relationships in my life have shown me that people are fucked up, you know? It's the priestesses and priests that walk across that bridge anyway, with the knowing, I see more now and I've healed me now, so I know I can face whatever is coming through in a way that is empowering to the mind and empowering in the heart. And there's also a recognition, I'm going so hard on this right now, but there's a recognition here for certain people who have been able to recognize patterns. That doesn't mean you never re-enter your patterns. It just means you're able to see them when they're happening and go, oh, this is a pattern. Let me choose one thing different, because that's essentially stepping out of the pattern. So an example of this is like in February, I noticed I was the beginning stages of a pattern with one particular person that I met through like a business thing, was happening. Just the very beginning stages were starting on my end. And I caught it like just mid thought. And it was like the third or fourth time I had the thought. And this is like being a regulator of the mind. This is not easy. This also is like, I've demolished myself so many times that like I really don't want to demolish myself anymore. So the regulation of the mind is a priority for me. But I caught the thought and I went, oh, I'm about to enter a pattern with that person. And like, they don't even fucking know, they don't know the inner workings of my soul and my mind and my programming. So I was able to choose differently. And by choosing differently, what I essentially did was I muted their accounts on social media, and I only engage in conversations when it is like necessary, you know? And it's like no harm, no foul to them. They're not a villain here. So there's something here too about that. Maybe there's been a recognition of like the gray area between, the nuance of victim, villain, and hero, and like the realization that we are all three. One, two, three. What? Oh my god. Anyway, okay, let's get out of this. Smash the love button if you know anything that I just said. This spread, though, is a story for people who have moved through pain, gained new perspective, allowed themselves to extract wisdom, recognition that they see more, and because they see more, they're able to see more routes for abundance, for acquisition. But the seeing is also like, okay, I see the bridge that I'm being asked to walk across, even if my ego is saying this is scary or we don't know what's over there. Your ego will sometimes flood your system with potential harm, like things that could go wrong. It will flood you. If you're experiencing flooding, that usually means you are on the brink of a breakthrough. Keep going. Don't let the flood convince you to stop. Let the flood be proof or, excuse me, evidence that you are walking across the bridge. And once you get to the other side of the bridge, the lovers is here. And the lovers is, this is indicative of free will. And it's being able to like choose, it's like using your mind in a very regulated, intentional way. Like my brain is actually not me. My consciousness is me. My consciousness is me, not my programmed mind, Gemini energy. My consciousness, my Neptunian energy, the awareness of all things. And that's where we can get muddled. And that's why people get stuck in like spiritual psychosis and like the trauma loop of like never acting in different behaviors or creating identity shifts. It oh wow, I'm spazzing. Hold on. It takes a very dedicated mind to recognize that the mind is a tool. It is not identity. Oh my God, what am I saying? Your mind is your tool. It is not your identity, Gemini, it's the light and the shadow. It's recognizing, okay, is this my shadow? Is this a perpetuation of a pattern or a fear? Or is this a higher thought, a higher elevated plan? Anyway, if you are moving across a bridge right now because you are stepping outside of a comfort zone, you have exuded dominion over the fear or over the subconscious pattern. On the other side of the bridge is the lovers, and the lovers is confirmation that your free will and your higher self are working together in order for you to make a higher level choice. The lovers is a contract. The lovers is a union. The lovers is a new beginning. It could be potentially with a person, but it's not usually limited to that. It's usually a broader scope. So I guess let's get some clarity on the lovers. This is Gemini energy. Huh. Okay. Can I get clarity on the Lover's energy? Page of Cups, we saw that. The Princess of Cups is the Page of Cups. Okay, it's a brand new beginning. It's emotionally fulfilling. This could be a message. This could be a person. It could be a Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. It doesn't have to be. Can I get some additional clarity on the Page of Cups? Oh, it's a new beginning because you're closing out an old one. A new beginning on the account of closing out an old one. This is also, oh, if this is a person, this is someone who makes something easier. If this is a person, this is someone who makes things easier. What does that mean? Holy shit, new foundation. New foundation. If this is a person on the other side of the bridge of your challenging decision to move forward with faith, someone here is showing you how to actually create a new foundation in the self. That's that transformation energy I was getting at the top. So someone is showing you how to instill a new foundation. This feels like what got you here is not what's going to be needed to move you forward to the next level. That's the bridge of like, okay, what got me across the bridge was one energy, but now I'm on the other side of the bridge and I get this thing. And this thing I actually have to take to a different bridge, a different path. Oh my God, double Scorpio energy. That is it. There's a it's identity shift, but it feels like it's more than that. Your spiritual energy is taking up more space, so now your external energy is going to be able to take up more space too. This could just be like being more comfortable in your body, being more comfortable in collaborations, being more comfortable in a new workspace, a new home. But there's some sort of significant ending to the old way. The old way is not going to be happening anymore. Give me one more on this tower. Wow. 10 of Pentacles and the 10 of Cups in the same reading. This is really beautiful. 10, 10, 10. That's 30. That's the Empress. So it's the birthing of a new. It's being able to manifest through intentional alignment. Sorry, Pisces, I just got feels like a feather in my eye. If this is a person, there's an alleviation of stress, responsibilities, or burdens. This is somebody who's able to take something off your back, or they're able to show you how to do something in a different way that leaves more room for joy and fulfillment. If this isn't a person, if this is a contract, what else could that lovers be? If this is a new beginning in a new environment, this could be a new mental landscape, but this could be like a new tangible physical landscape. There's an old burden that you experienced in this previous chapter that burden isn't coming with you here. And it's like this really liberating, mentally freeing. What is it? It's like something humming in the background. You know when you have like the oven fan on when you're cooking? It's on in the background. You're cooking, you're cooking, you're cooking. You finally you're done cooking and you're like, oh my God, I need to turn this fan off. This might be for the neurospices. You turn the fan off and you're like, whew, this is actual peace. I was able to cook with the fan on because I needed the fan on while I was cooking. But the second cooking was done, I wanted to blow the fan up. You know, it's like, oh, the futility of the fan becomes obsolete. You're like, I need to turn this off or I'm going to lose my friggin' mind. That's what this feels like. There's something that was necessary, or maybe it's still happening. It's on in the background and it's necessary. This could also be for people who are using anxiety as fuel to move forward. That is a beautiful way to transmute anxiety. Action. If you're like, I'm so anxious I can't sleep, so I'm going to use this time to like make plans, take action, move forward. This is like coming into a chapter where now you actually don't need the anxiety as fuel because not as much action or that type of action isn't needed. And there's an actual like sigh of relief here. Wow, there's something miraculous about the shift because you believe. This is for people who are like, I took action with the belief it could happen, and now it's happening. And that in itself is like Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey. I believe in miracles. Like, it's like a wow, this really did fucking work. Anything else on this Ten of Cups? Smash the love button. That's the four I referenced at the top. The Ten of Cups is being clarified by Four of Cups. Even in this card, it's like he's focusing. It's the cooking with the kitchen fan on. I'm focusing on my Three Cups. I'm focusing on my Three Cups. I'm focusing on my Three Cups. And then something in the background appears. So this could also be a reference to there's something in your energy already that's going to transition from one cup, Ace of Cups, to Ten of Cups. And again, that could be a person, that could be a transition in the workspace or the friendship space. It's an expansion of tribe. Could also be an expansion of the ways in which you're allowing yourself to experience your 3D world. You see pathways, opportunities, activities, hobbies that you didn't see before. And just by allowing yourself to go down those pathways, cross that bridge, trying new things, that simple shift in allowance opens up pathways in, this could be like monetary gain, romantic situations, contracts and partnerships in business. So it's also a reminder that all things are connected in sacred geometry. So if you're like, how would joining a yoga class benefit my finances? If you don't believe me, go try it. Because if you're not in a yoga class, but you're being called to do something new, doing something new is showing the universe, I'm open to the identity shift. I'm open to the new. So if you're also in the boat of like, I've been waiting, the antidote to waiting is changing the monotony. So it's like trying a new class, taking a new route, eating somewhere different, going to a movie by yourself. It's like if you shake up the energy in your life, everything else has to recalibrate around you. And there's a recalibration here. The spiritual energy that's like the fabric, the sacred geometry here is someone did not allow themselves to get stuck in the psychosis, or someone did not allow themselves to get stuck in the depression, the grief. Someone did not allow themselves to get stuck in the grief. That doesn't mean you stopped feeling grief, but it just means someone here has learned how to move with grief in order to extract or expand perspective and continues implementing action. That is a big difference from being stuck in a loop. The stuck in the loop is where like a lot of waiting, I've been waiting comes from. I'm going to use a different deck. Hold on. Any additional, the spiritual side, that expanded perspective, expanded sight. Ace of Cups in reverse. Expanded sight. There could have been a recognition of like, this actually might be for people who are like, I recognized I was waiting, so I had to change things. My Ace of Cups wasn't coming in, right? Ace of Cups in reverse. So I had to change something. Can you give me a clarifier on the Ace of Cups in reverse? Expanded sight. Or the recognition of like, this isn't what I want. Okay, so this is like sending the order back to the kitchen. There could have been a recognition of something came in. There was an Ace of Cups, or there was a new beginning, or there's some sort of shift that came in, and you could have been disappointed by what came in. Like, no, that's not the thing that I want, and you sent it back. Sending it back is saying no to the algorithm of the universe. Eight of Cups. Like, no, that's not the cup that goes here to complete the symmetrical pattern that I'm building. That's not the one. And she has her back to the asymmetrical pattern. It does not fit for her. Ace of Cups, she sent it back. She's moving towards the moon. The moon is intuition. The moon is like, I'll go back into the darkness. I will choose darkness over settling for something that's not right for me. Smash the love button. I think that's right because Three of Cups is at the bottom and we have the Three of Cups abundance. Sun, moon. Every time you say no to what you don't want, you are making the algorithm of the universe smarter to deliver exactly what it is that you do want. And there's people here, I feel like I'm reading for 3 groups of people. Moving with grief in the workspace, in the family space, in romantic spaces and friendships means I'm actively healing and recognizing what I'm feeling, why I'm feeling it, how can I pour love into myself to heal that? And then what wisdom can I extract from this experience so that moving forward, my pain is being used for something for me versus staying hurting. Versus staying hurting or 5 of Cups, Ace of Cups in reverse. Like if the perspective was not gained, this could be like waiting for an apology, waiting for a request for forgiveness, or waiting for somebody to like, I don't, yeah, show up in a way that's not, it's show up for you in a way, but the way in which they show up, Ace of Cups in reverse, it's like, that's not the way that you want. You want this Ace of Cups upright. This is not always easy, and that is why there's magic involved here. Just because an ace shows up, if it is not the right ace for you, you are allowed to say no thank you. Because accepting any ace that comes along is essentially operating in scarcity. And though I don't see scarcity on the table, what we see is abundance on the table. So this could be, I could be reading the details of a story that already happened, where this already took place, cycles of this took place. And because your main energy is Queen of Pentacles, who is the abundant queen of her earth and spiritual energy. Abundance on the table, a new ace on the table, dominion on the table. That is a story of dominating with spirit so that you can receive from unforeseen sources what it is that you desire. But there is some like heaviness here. So I don't know if someone's in heaviness or if the heaviness already happened and that's why you were able to get this spread today. Put you where you go. Can I get a concluding energy for Pisces around this belief in miracles? Oh, I love it. The Star card. I do believe in miracles. Maybe you need to play that song. Star card is complete wish fulfillment. I wonder if they're going to flag me for her parts. Wish fulfillment, healing. This is also a nod towards Thoth. This ibis bird is a nod towards Thoth. That's funny because we use Thoth tarot as the basis. Star card is Uranus, and Uranus, I think, yeah, Uranus does things differently. So maybe you did things differently, and that's why things are shifting. And now in this new relief cycle, this miracle cycle, where something goes off in the background, it's not necessary anymore. There's going to be another new, different way of you experiencing this cycle, fulfilling on a soul level and fulfilling in the 3D. So where that hanged man energy was representative of you taking up more space in the realms unseen, the star card is like the embodiment of the human vessel taking up more space in the 3D, infused with that hanged man energy. Claim that wish fulfillment, claim this miracle, babe. There's some sort of like wealth and abundance coming your way, either on an emotional level with people or with physicality, options in the physical world. Not without grief and disappointment, but it looks like you moved out of that and maybe you just didn't let it stop you. Maybe that's the message. Holy shit, confirmation at the bottom, 10 of Pentacles. Okay, you're going to have to fill me in on what this is. This feels very, very beautiful. 2 tens of pentacles, a 10 of cups, 10 of wands. We'll take it. We didn't even have to see the 10 of swords. I love when we don't have to see that bullshit. You know? Congratulations on your new foundation. A miraculous foundation, Pisces. High Priestess, we have meditation tonight. You can join our weekly Wednesday meditations at the first link in the pinned comment below. We would love to see you there. High Priestesses, I will see you. Tonight is the new moon in Cancer. We're going to have a little new moon channeling activation meditation to call in our new miraculous cycle. Hold my hands. Take a gentle inhale through your nose. And a soft release through the mouth. I'm sending you so much Reiki love and healing. I don't know, Pisces, claim one of these. Claim your wealth, claim your abundance, claim your miracle, claim your wish fulfillment, claim your joy. I love to see this for us, babe. See you later.